You're watching Weirdo Universe, where wonders take flight. Enjoy the show. I'm Amon,
I'm AJ.
and this is Weirdo Universe. Thanks for tuning in another week and episode. Sorry for the postponed, but we're back, and this time officially, we're going to talk about the movie's franchise series called Now You See Me. I pretty much sum it up pretty much as just magicians robbing rich people. I'll give it to AJ here to just give you at least a little rundown of one of the movies. Take it away.
Yeah, so like Amon said, this is more on the side of magic. However, it does involve a little bit of kind of con artists in a sense. Some of the magic tricks they do kind of explain how they do it, and well, it's quite interesting. Like for example, there's a character that is played by Morgan Freeman. Great actor. I'm I'm honestly surprised that he's been in all three films. Especially the newer one since it was about I want to say maybe a decade after the last one. I could be wrong, but I didn't think he was gonna return. I thought he was just gonna have this character kind of like, you know, live off on the side, kind of off screen. Um, but his character basically does this series in the film universe where he debunks magicians and he'll basically tell you how they do it, how the tricks are done, and to top it off, they ended up doing the exact same thing with each so-called heist. And there are four magicians, well, for the first one at least, and maybe the second one outside of the fifth member, and then also in the more recent one, about like eight. So, yes, there it is. Thank you, Ahmad.
Come on.
Good morning. Um,
Oh, good afternoon.
this is the movie franchise called Now You See Me. I believe that is the very first one, if I'm not mistaken, the poster board for it. And in this one, they do basically three heists. One was to supposedly rob a bank from Las Vegas and France. Well, what I mean by that is that they robbed a bank that was in France from Las Vegas. And this is where you get another character that comes in, played by Mark Ruffalo, named Dylan Rhodes, an FBI agent. However, by the second film, he is actually, well, the end of the first film into the second film, he gets he reveals himself as the fifth horseman in a sense. And his real name is actually Daniel Shrike, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've seen all three movies, so bear with me. But for this film, the first one, they did um, the main finale of their big three-act heist was to um, basically rob blind the actor Um, I don't remember his name. It was the guy that played Alfred in Christian Bale's Batman films.
I know the face, but I don't know the actor.
Okay, well, to reference that, he's from that film franchise as well. Just so that's out there. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but um, he plays basically a corrupt, um, well, rich person, and by the end of the movie, they steal the money, give it back to a number of people, and then also um, vanish. And then by the second film, you get a new member of the Horsemen named Lula, and she comes in to Now You See Me too, where the same guy that played Alfred in the Bale films is comes back with, I guess, his son in some way that's played by Daniel Radcliffe. Yes, we get Harry Potter in this too, ironically enough, in another whole movie about magic. I joked about that for so long. Every time I watch a second film, I just immediately go, "Hey, it's Harry Potter." Um, but they both team up and use science to basically kind of blackmail and trick the Four Horsemen into working with them. However, they also start playing them and then eventually rob them both blind and then also get them both arrested. Now, it gets real interesting with this is that after some time, they finally made the third film, which is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And I had a feeling they kind of referenced this in the very first film, actually, because there's a card that Jesse played, um, that Jesse's character, Atlas, picks up a card when they all kind of investigate this surprisingly emptied apartment. And there's a card that says, literally, now you don't. So I've kind of imagined that maybe they've hinted at doing a little franchise of this film since day one. And it could be just a coincidence. It could just be like, oh, well, you see me, now you don't. I'm not really here. Um, but in the third film, the crew comes back. Basically, everybody but Mark Ruffalo's character comes back until the very end in a cameo. But you get um, Woody Harrelson's character. You get um, Henley, Lula, um, Jesse's character. I could be wrong. It might not be Jesse. Um, I just remember at least half his name, and I could be very wrong on his first name. So forgive me on that. Um, but they all come back with three new magicians or thieves or con artists, whatever you want to call them. And um, it turns out that one of the new characters are actually the son to, and I guess you could say kind of an heir to a family fortune that they end up robbing from just to give back to the people of, I think it was in Africa they mentioned. But basically, what they stole in the more recent film is that it was all about the heart diamond. And a lot of, I don't know if that is based off an actual diamond, but I'll have to do some more research in that and then maybe post about it another time. However, um, it turns out that they also had to rob his, I guess, half sister, which is, if my memory serves me correct, without watching the movie since like last month, um, Veronica Vanderberg. I might be wrong, but that's as close as my memory is gonna get. And eventually, by the end of the movie, she gets arrested, and then we are left with a cliffhanger from both Atlas and Charlie, who kind of give a response to, I guess, a recorded message through Mark Ruffalo's character, Dylan, and basically just goes, "What's the trick?" So we are also going to be getting a fourth film to this franchise, and I'm quite excited about it because they already done some really insane heists. So I'm curious on exactly what they plan to do for the fourth one.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer of the fourth one. It's kind of like they were hired by not a merchant. I don't know, some black like I saw the trailer, but pretty much it's kind of like they helped someone, then they kind of got backstabbed, so they're going to take what they helped her get, and then just because of this whole heist, and then everyone starts grouped together and just goes at it. Anyway, but yeah, there you go. Now you see me, and now you don't. Um, yeah. So yeah, there's a little breakdown. So just to keep it rolling a bit, I just maybe want to break down another old show, or at least anime wise. And this is a pretty old anime. I think it's about like 2 or 3 years old now. And that's called Freerun, Beyond the Journey's End. And I just got into it like last. Actually, just got into it I think Tuesday when I wasn't feeling well, and I just wanted to watch something. And just scrolling Netflix and saw the anime called Freerun, and I heard people talk about it a bit sometimes, or at least even try to cosplay the character. And I'm like about midway through now, and it's just a very I want to say like a pleasant anime because it's not like there's some action scenes, but the more of the part of the journey, it's more of like I want to say like a spiritual walk, but maybe just mainly I guess in that sort of way. But so pretty much the story is Freerin, who is she's a female elf, mage elf, and they're pretty much the story goes is so she was with a group of heroes and they recruited her to take on the Demon King. And as they did this journey, it took about 10 years. They defeated him. They defeated the Demon King and they defeated the Demon King and they come back. But what was more great pleasant about it is like she goes back to the place where she defeated the Demon King. But what's so pleasant is it's like as her journey goes, because she always wants to understand like humans. And so, fortunately, one of the old companions died from old age, from natural causes. She uh, she kind of goes wants to at least speak to him one last time, and so this is like 2 decades, almost 3 decades pass, and as she travels, she like was told to like not like adopt, but to like take care of this girl in the background where her companion her companion was a priest. Um, her companion priest like kind of pretty much like took care of or adopt, and he was about to pass. So, and what's crazy enough, she was also a mage, so she trains her, and then she kind of becomes her like assistant. Um, and as the journey goes, there's this character in the background named Stark. He was a companion for one of the characters that was a dwarf, kind of like a dwarf. Sorry, just trying to get my thoughts. There's a lot to really break down with this. But I just feel like the journey itself is just pleasant enough. There's humor, adventures. She reflects more on the past of because they go through the same places. Anyway, I just thought I'd do like a quick breakdown and thought you should give it a shot. But yeah, that's pretty much free run. That's as simple as it can get. Don't want to break down too much of it. But another thing I discovered we can now finally talk about: Fast and Furious is back. They
Oh yeah,
the
that did not sound as enthusiastic as it intended to be.
yeah, because as we know, this Fast and Furious series has been going on since the early 2000s, and it's finally about what we'll see. But it's finally hopefully has a closing chapter. So
See, I personally, I mean, I'll probably still watch it, just to finally get the
I think it's aiming.
potential finale.
I think it's aiming for next year.
But the only issue I've had with the franchise since Furious 7 was that when Paul Walker died, I figured they were just going to end it there, you know?
Yeah,
But then Furious 8 came out, and I was like, all right, okay, well, that's a kind of nice ending, too. I kind of like that, too. So I'll let this slide. I'm not usually big on movies that continue off of a franchise without one of the characters being that was present there from the start. Um, I'm not usually big on them just kind of continuing it off after they die. I feel like a lot of times if you lose a cast member, that's just kind of like, all right, it's finished. We did a pretty good end to this franchise for what we had, so let's just kind of keep it there. But I did kind of enjoy the fact that they did like give Dom a son that he ended up naming Brian, like after Paul Walker's character. But it was just like, okay, now you guys are doing a fifth film, or not a fifth film, a ninth film. You're doing also an entire spin-off with Hobbs and Shaw. You're doing now a 10th film. And it's like, guys, you've been running this for a while now. I think you need to hit the brakes. Just saying. Um, but I'm only saying that because, again, I'm not really big on movies that do that, where they continue to do the franchise without one of their cast members. Because I mean, a lot of them do tend to grow like close bonds with each other. You know, like
Mhm.
Vin Diesel has even mentioned quite a number of times that him and Paul Walker have like this brotherhood, even off screen. So it's like it was just odd to kind of hear that they continued doing the films.
But then,
Also, forgive the dogs. Go
but
on.
but then, you kind of do some lore breakdown. So why did they decide to do a two-part film of this last one? Oh, apparently, so in Fast Five, when they were taking a safe all the way across Brazil, all across Rio, apparently that kind of dictator guy had a son. And apparently he was with them when he died, but he lived. So they're like, all right, now we gotta do we gotta like reborn that sort of movie, but now it's like a part two of a part one. So there's that. Then it's like a lot of breakdown. They wanted to like do a lot of lore breakdown. They wanted to do it for some reason. So John Cena. I mean, he kind of got I don't, he got invited to be a kind of like a villain to play the younger brother, or at least I don't know by blood or at least adopted. I don't know, but I don't know entirely. But he played the
Probably by blood,
by blood. Okay, he
because Dom and Mia never said exactly he was adopted or anything.
yeah.
But then again, I mean, their whole thing is about family, so even
So
if
like
he was adopted,
when
wouldn't
that
have mattered.
so like they did that movie when because it's like all right well apparently they forgot about the younger brother and he becomes pretty much a contractor mercenary hired from a corporate company. And then it was pretty good. I mean, Cena did okay in that sort of role. They used John Cena as the older, and then they used the actor. I know his face and the name, but he's been in many other shows or movies. Who was playing the younger role. But anyway, they just wanted to do some lore breakdown and be like, oh, in case you guys didn't know, there was a third brother. They thought they didn't see him in like 25 years or something, and he pops out of the blue, then they make an action-packed movie, and then yeah. So anyway, as we know from how part one ended, Jason Momoa was also in a movie I maybe we'll break down real quick after this with Batista, and I saw that a couple weeks ago. We'll break. I want to
Yeah,
throw
I need
that.
to watch that. I see that on Prime Video
Yeah.
since I started watching this one series on there. But I've seen the movie you're talking about.
So anyway, but Momoa is playing this crazy lunatic son, and I mean I mean just go on off script with Momoa, man. His acting is just like insane, and he just has that humor. It's just he's just a funny
See,
guy.
I love the parts where he's sitting on the lounge chair in
Yeah,
like a pink robe, getting his
and like in a
nails done and
pink,
whatnot,
with a pink
and
like
he's just talking to like two corpses.
two corpses doing like painting his toenails. But anyway, like
I'm
so
just like, dude, you are really going for the sadistic character role. This is very dark.
so like anyway, but so you know how it ended where it was like I think I recall like on like the Hoover Dam and then like they fell in the water, but then he pretty much had like a Joker plan to try to blow up the dam and pretty much kill uh him and with his son. That's how like it did a massive cliffhanger. Yeah, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And now here we are, finally an ending to this long and long and long franchise. But anyway, it's good to at least finally have a closed book. we probably know this will be finally the end. So now you can finally bench watch it from the very beginning to this point and enjoy the show.
I think this will be the end for the main continuity.
But yeah, that might do
I
something.
do think they did say that they were still probably planning to do spin-offs,
Yeah, I mean spin-offs. Yeah.
but yeah. I'm curious what the storyline is going to be for this
Well, they
show.
know. I already know they're gonna kick off with kick off with how it ended, the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we were talking midway through of just letting you know about the um, franchise finally ending. um, we're gonna break down one more movie to end it to end off our episode, and that's a movie called Wrecking Crew with Jason Momoa
Yeah.
and Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I
And
need to watch that. But I've heard it's been pretty good
no,
from what I've seen online.
yeah, it's quite good. So what's great about this movie that Batista and Momoa were producing it. So I wonder there's some scenes when you watch you can't maybe tell some like one of them had control to do this scene in their movie. So I mean like Batista
Okay.
actually my someone told me that actually Batista asked Momoa to do a movie together. So he was like, "Yeah, why not?" So they did this movie. So pretty much this movie, Wrecking Crew. So it starts off with with the man walking in. He's kind of like being around it. Like you feel like he's kind of being watched, and he was trying to drop off something important to the mail. In the mail, drops him in the mail. Unfortunately, he gets ran over and dies. But as it fast forward to in Hawaii, Batista playing a kind of a Navy SEALs trainer. Um, he's like, this is like last week or 2 weeks ago, so I might be a bit foggy with the details, but I'll do my best here. Um, so it's like a So when the dad died, it's like a mystery. So Batista is playing. I forgot the character's name, but Batista playing this like Navy SEALs commander trainer. Um, he gets word about this certain person. That person ended up being his dad, which he never seen in like so many years. And so his his wife was mentioning about you should let his younger brother know, and that's Jason Momoa, who's plays as a detective, but he lives all the way in Oklahoma. So they haven't seen each other in years. And the conflict between the two is a, a in their past. Momoa's character, when he was young, he did something, he did something dumb, or something bad, so bad that even the syndicate was after him. So as Batista being an older brother, he had to find a way to protect him. But unfortunately, their mom fell kind of like becomes the victim to the troubles. And so it's like as being brothers, the younger brother feel like getting pushed away, um, being pushed away.
I was trying to reply to you, and then I totally forgot I had myself on mute. But you said something about the mother getting affected by the troubles, and I was like, consequences, man. And then I realized you kept talking, and then I looked down. I was like, oh right, I'm muted.
It's good, but like it's in this, but like they try to at least repair that past in a way, but for Momoa's character, how it kicks off, because you know him, I mean, probably the actor himself, he rides motorcycles a lot, I bet. So it starts off him riding back home from Oklahoma from work. And unfortunately, his girlfriend leaves. And well, the actress is in a series on CBS called The Sheriff. Wait a minute, she was in this movie playing the girlfriend, well, ex now, but so anyway, they're having this fight scene, and Momoa has these like corny kind of like jokes in a way, and so on. But anyway, she leaves, and in this movie, pretty much Momoa's character he just drinks and drinks and drinks. Like it's like not even. There's been like rarely a scene unless it's an action scene where he doesn't drink, but the character he just drinks a lot. So it's that little like humor aspect. But anyway, considering the plot though, so they realize there's something about their dad's murder because what he was scenting was to Momoa's character, and apparently the Yakuza track the pack and it ends up going to his house. And it's funny because he was using the restroom, and they just suddenly pop out of the blue, try to kill him while he was trying to use the restroom. Anyway, then he does these like another, humor scenes and talk. But it's an action scene. Very like the cinematography, the action is really good. And so he kills them like big gory. Like one scene that's gory, he takes a cheese grater and literally he takes a cheese grater and slightly just scrapes at least the lower
Why?
part of the skin off one of the Yakuza guys. I mean, he's being attacked here, so anyway, it's just like a little
I
gory,
mean, self-defense.
self
Fair.
defense, but it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, they killed they killed the Yakuza, not knowing like what's going on, and because they want this sort of package, and he didn't know or what was going on. Anyway, so then he gets the call from uh, the Batista's character's wife about the past of their uh, dad, and of course he doesn't know because they haven't seen them in so many years. So fast forwarding a little bit, so they kind of like they work together, and they kind of work together in realizing how deep this goes. So there's a good actor who played Jango Fett in Episode 2 of Star Wars. He was in it playing as a mayor. And just to like sum up everything, it's very action packed. There's some gore, some humor, very explosive action like Fast and Furious ish. But just to wrap up the ending of it, they discover like they tied it together where it actually led to the one that was trying to run mayor that was like the uncle of the family. They just tied it all together what led to the dad's death. And anyway, the mayor gets arrested, and like that's all. I don't want to just go too much, but I like just at least spoil the ending, just that their
I gotta
uncle.
watch this movie.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess the one part I should say as well. So in the movie, the Momoa's character has been wanting to get revenge, and he kind of knew it was the syndicate, and though I guess there wasn't really a lot of proof of them doing it, but he felt like he blamed them since he eyewitnessed it. He saw his mom's death, so it's just like so that's what made it just scarring. We should all
That's brutal.
that is yeah brutal. But she wanted to get revenge. He's on this like revenge cycle, but he never got the help, the support, and as time, so he been wanting. That's what he wants more because that's like try as a way of trying to like end this cycle. But at the end of it, the main syndicate gives them a piece of paper to tell them who in row who the one that murdered, who did the hit. But he realized now that he doesn't want that anymore. So they and then they were, he lives with his brother again. So that's a little big part of it. But anyway, there's a lot of humor, good acting, a lot of action, and so on. So I just thought to at least squeeze that in our ending. But yeah, without further ado, I know it's Super Bowl weekend, so enjoy the Super Bowls. That's coming up. And yeah, so Super Bowl happened today, so enjoy that, and we'll see you next time.